Hey, hello everyone. Yeah, it's good to be here today. It's good to be here today. It's good to be here today. So, let me share the video so that those who don't know that I'm going live today and be well informed about this live broadcast. So, today I will be talking to you about the truths. Yeah, the topic I want to talk about is the truth about land banking. So, if you can hear me, just drop in the comment box that you can hear me. Meanwhile, just give me a moment. Let me share the link so that people who are not here can be well informed. So if you are watching me live on YouTube, on Facebook, or anywhere you are, I want to say I celebrate you. Thank you for being here. Awesome, awesome. So if you are meeting me for the first time, don't worry. In a moment, you are going to get to meet me in person. So just allow me share the link. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So let's look at the truth about land banking. Now, let me tell you the truth many people don't or will never tell you about land banking. Land banking is not magic money. You know, you've heard people say, oh, you can actually become a millionaire, a billionaire from land banking. But I should also let you know that it is not magic money. Yes, there is money to be made, but just know that it is not magic money. Okay, just a moment. I'm trying to check. Magic money. Awesome, awesome. So I wanted to be sure you can hear me. Awesome. So just a moment. I'm trying to check magic money. All right, all right. So let's good. Let's do this. So land banking is not magic money. It is not. Some people buy land and become wealthy, while some other buy land and remain stuck for years. Now, the truth is this: it's not every investment you put your money in that you get to become wealthy from it. Of course, one investment does not make one wealthy, but the fact that you understand what you are putting your money in makes you create something massive from it. So some people put money in land and from there they become wealthy. There are so many people like that. In the moment, I'm still going to be sharing, giving you practical things that has happened to me and also to people that I know in the industry. And I must say that there's money to be made in land banking. So people, of course, like I said, people put money in land and they become wealthy, while others put money there, they buy land and then they remain stuck for years. So, but you would ask yourself, what is the difference? Now, in this video, I'm going to show you the real truth about land banking. I'm going to tell you the hype. I'll also tell you the reality of land banking and why some people fail at it. And of course, others and how other smart investors actually build wealth from land. Now, this is a practical session, and I'm going to be giving you different examples, experience in the industry. So Just relax and be willing to learn. My name is Olauton Jeremiah. I started selling land in 2013. Like I always say, I actually started in 2012, but in 2013 I made my first sale. So in the industry, I've been here for a very long time. So over the years, I've built and I've sold hundreds of acres of land. That's over 1,000, plots of land, and I have never lost a single plot. I always say this to people that I've done investments in different things. I have stocks, I've bought shares, I've done TB, I've done a lot of other investments, even cryptos, forex trading. I've done all of these investments. Some of it I've made money back, some I've lost money. But you see, this real estate, I've been in it since 2013 and I've not lost a single plot of land. So I've worked with salary earners, business owners, even couples, young professionals, Nigerians in diaspora, and serious investors. I've worked with different people. The first person I ever sold land to was a student. So I've worked with salary earners, people who uh, are business people. I've worked with Nigerians in diaspora. In fact, we are still on one, a Nigerian living in the UK, and not just that, different people from different walks of life. And one thing I discover about all of this is that most people misunderstand land banking. Yes, I'm major in land banking. I do more of land banking than any other thing, and I can tell you that the knowledge you need for land banking is different from the knowledge you need for buying up properties in developed environments, right? But I have been in the land banking space for so many years. So why some people think that once they buy land today, they'll become millionaires tomorrow. That mindset is very dangerous. I mean, it's dangerous to you, dangerous to the money that you are spending to buy the land. So, land banking, of course, is powerful, and it is only when you understand how it truly works that you can get the best from it. So, let's look at how land banking is not quick money, right? Yeah, so let me be sure again. Those who are joining me live, if you can hear me, please do well to put in the comments. I want to see those who are joining. Well, like I said, I didn't announce this session, so but I know when you come online, you'll be able to watch the video at your own time, right? So let's continue. I was going to talk about how land banking is not quick money. Now, one major mistake people make is expecting land to behave like betting or let's say crypto, and that is not land banking. Land banking is a patience game. It's something that you have to be very patient if you want to get the best from it. So you are buying into the future of a location. That's the basic of land banking. You are buying into the future of a location. You are positioning yourself ahead of development. And when people bought land in places like Ibejuleke many years ago, uh, many people mocked them, but today the story is not the same. So those same land that they mock them about have multiplied massively in value because development arrived. And one thing about development is that development will always arrive. That is why for you, if you are targeting, if your strategy for wealth is land banking, then you are not just buying a random land, you are buying a land with information. And so stay with me because I'm going to be sharing practical things with you, and even practical places you can begin to look at if you want to consider land banking as a wealth strategy. So land rewards people who move early and wait wisely. That's just the major thing you must know, that land banking rewards everyone, anyone who, of course, has information and then choose to buy with that information. So land banking is not quick money, but you can be patient enough, you get the best from it. Okay, so let's look at the hype and the reality. Now, on social media has created a lot of hype around land investment. You hear people say, buy land and double your money next month. Well, anyways, sometimes that happens. It happens. I can't tell you it doesn't happen. Yeah, I'll tell you. Sometimes it happens. You buy land today, and then next month, or even immediately, yeah, the value of your land doubles or grows or increase. But the truth is this: in most cases, that's not the truth. That's not the case. Most times, that's not the case. So when you are buying land, don't just follow the social media noise, right? Follow people who know road. Follow people who have gone ahead of you, who can tell you, oh, that place, that location, go ahead and buy, right? So, but of course, the truth you will hear from me in this session and also in the future sessions that I'll be holding, right? So that is not, the normal way or the normal reality of land banking. When people say to you that you buy it today and then tomorrow or next month it will double, no, that's not normal. It's not normal. And so the reality in land banking is that some lands take years to mature. I have bought land that till today we are still waiting. Yes, I'm telling you, today till today we are still waiting. So I've bought the land in places where I know, I presume that it's going to, development is going to come there and then we can sell higher. But the truth is this: some locations we are still waiting, while some have bought land, and today I can tell you that you come up bring millions because the land is appreciating, right? It's appreciating. So some land takes years to mature, and of course some locations grow slowly, while some investors buy in wrong location. So these are realities. Some people even panic too early and sell too soon. I've seen this happen to so many people. People buy land and then in another 4 months, a year, 6 months from, they are saying they want to resell because of panic, because of fear. We sold some property, land in somewhere in Ipaja some years back, and people some people who bought who were convinced to buy, they later resold it before the land even gave them double of their money. And why did they sell? They resold because they heard that the location was government acquisition, and this was a location that has Supreme Court judgment, and we had opportunity to sell, so we bought and resold. So those who bought then and waited patiently, they are selling the land today in tens of millions. Tens of millions, right in Ipaja, Lagos. While those who bought and resold, they have lost in the game. So people they resell based on panic, and so that is why for you, if you are choosing land banking as your wealth strategy, ensure that you are doing it with somebody who has knowledge. And I always say to people, don't just do this land banking wealth strategy thing alone. Be in a community, join people who are also doing it so that you can have information at your beck and call. You don't just make decision based on panic, based on fear, based on news too. Yes, make decision based on the news we are hearing, right? But we don't. Okay, that's electricity outage. Don't worry, we're in Nigeria. So let's continue. We're in Nigeria. The lights will be restored. So next, so some people don't just buy out of fear. Don't wait. I mean, don't do life alone. Don't do life alone. Join a community of people who are also doing it so that we can be, they say, together we are strong, right? So if we do it together, if you do it with others, I'm not saying put money together. No, that's not what I'm saying. I am saying that be in the company of people who are also doing the same thing you are doing. Of course, except if you have that thick skin and you can weather the storm alone. Why not? You can do life alone. So the wealthy understand something most people don't understand, that real wealth is usually slow, and land banking is not some kind of microwave wealth. No, it is a strategic wealth plan that you can embrace. Now, let me quickly share with you why some people fail in land banking, and I'm going to explain why people fail. Now, number one, they buy cheap land without understanding why it is cheap. Now, let me say this: land, no matter how cheap it is, land is not cheap. They say the location is selling for 200,000 naira per acre. Now, the truth is this: it's not 200,000 naira you will spend. You will spend way more than that. You can spend double, you can spend triple money to acquire, except if the land or if what you want to buy is something you just want to throw money away. No, but if it is your wealth plan, if it is I mean, you are um, buying for wealth creation, for wealth retention, then you should be preparing to spend more than what they are asking you to come pay for land. So the people who buy cheap land without understanding why it is cheap, they can of course lose money. Remember, I'm sharing with you why some people fail in land banking. So not every cheap land is actually a good investment. That is one thing you should know. Not every cheap land. When you come into land banking, you're actually buying cheap, no matter the amount. So let me establish that. Anytime you embrace any land banking offer, you are actually buying cheap. That's not to say that the land is cheap, right? But to say that when you are reselling in the nearest future, you are going to be selling it higher. So number two is that they follow noise instead of research. And I just said or shared with you earlier, it's not they don't just follow the noise on social media. Now, any land or whatsoever that you have seen All right. Sorry, I don't know. I didn't know that we lost the network. All right. Sorry, I don't know. I didn't know that we lost the network. All right. Sorry. Okay. So let's continue from where we stopped. Actually, I don't know where we stopped, but let me just do a little recap from the number one reason why people fail. I mentioned that um, when people don't understand why the land is cheap, it can also be so when you buy cheap land without understanding why it is cheap, it's actually something you need to watch out for. People you may not lose your money. Like I said, and no land is cheap in the real sense. No land is cheap, no matter the amount you buy. So the number two I was going to be talking about is people follow noise instead of research. I think I have even talked a little on it. So everybody is rushing to, if everybody is rushing to a location, right? They too they want to go and buy there without checking what the government plan is. The accessibility to that place, the future infrastructure, and the documentation that the location has. So you are not just going to rush or buy because many people are rushing into the location. No, you go on and buy after you have tick. I mean, check tick your checklist. After you have tick your checklist, is there a government plan for that place? What about access? The accessibility. How easy is it for people to move or get to the land? What about future infrastructure? Future infrastructure. Let me talk a little about access. You see, when it comes to access, remember that if you are doing bulk land purchase, you are not going to live on the entire land. So people will need to come and rent, and people who are coming to either buy land, build there, or even come and rent apartments when you eventually build land or houses there, know that these same people, not all of them will work or will have their businesses or their place of work nearby. So accessibility is key. How accessible is the land to a major city? So then future infrastructure, I mentioned that earlier. Future infrastructure, what's the plan? Is there development coming to that place? What is there a plan for road to be constructed, right? Are there businesses showing interest in this area? So these are things you have to look at. Then of course, documentation documentation. And when it comes to documentation, you can't overlook it. If you are buying land, doing land banking in Ogun State right now, it is advisable that you do it right, because what is happening in Lagos now is something that we don't want to experience in Ogun State, and it is only those who have their documentation intact that can weather the storm when the storm rises, right? So let's look at number three, impatience. Now, some people buy land today and expect miracles in 6 months. Now, that mindset destroys long term wealth. Like I said, except land banking is not your wealth strategy, you don't have business coming to do land banking in the first place. So if land banking is your wealth strategy that you are considering, then don't consider or don't look at 6 months resale. Don't even just zero your mind for 3 5 years before you now say, oh, I want to resell that place. Of course, there are some locations that you do land banking, and within 6 months, a year, you can say, oh, you want to resell. But again, impatience can make you to lose more than what you would have gained. So let's look at investment versus speculation. Now, this I would prefer to call it gambling. So investors versus gamblers. So there's a big difference between investment and speculation. While speculation says, "Oh, I heard this place may blow," investment says otherwise, right? Investment says, "I studied this location, I understand the future potential." So you can see the difference. A speculator will say, "Oh, I heard this place will blow or may blow," versus an investor who is using land banking as his or her wealth strategy is saying, I studied this location and I understand the future potential. That is one thing that separates you as an investor from a speculator or a gambler. So speculators chase rumors, they're after rumors, while investors study growth. So speculators buy emotionally, while investors buy strategically. So the purpose of you watching this session or joining this live session is to make you an investor who is leveraging on land banking for wealth creation, not a gambler. I've had people who have bought land from me, and they bought. I mean, they bought land through me. They bought land from me, and after 6 months, they are coming back to say they want to sell. Now, I understand that people have issues and they want to cater for it. They want to solve it, but at the same time, right? If you distract yourself from your wealth plan. I mean, you can actually solve the problem. So you don't provide a permanent solution to a temporary problem. You see, everybody have got problems, right? Everybody. But don't provide a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Okay. So be an investor instead of a speculator. Now, for investors, if government is constructing road, if industries are moving into an area, or if population expansion is happening, and or if estates are also developing nearby, that is not gambling. That is not speculating. All right, that becomes informed investing. So watch it. Real estate companies who are going to places to buy land, they are not just going there to buy. There is something they have seen. So you should be asking the question, what are you seeing? What have you seen? What is the news? What is moving you to this area? So it could be governments constructing roads, right? It could be industries moving to the area, and it could be population extending towards that location. And like I mentioned, if real estate companies are beginning to position, then you want to go there too, because at that point, it is no longer speculating, it is no longer gambling, it is now informed investing. Now, let's consider why patience matters in real estate or in land banking wealth strategy. Now, the people who build serious wealth through land are usually patient people, and I can tell you I'm one of them. Now, this is because land works with time. Roads may take time, cities may expand, and of course, cities usually expand with time, and development comes with time. It takes time for population movement to happen. So many wealthy families today became wealthy because somebody bought land years ago and kept it. If you have heard the story of the father or the grandfather of Pastor Paul Adefarasin, who was a civil servant, but yet bought land in VI places where people did not want to go. And many years after, the property became something massive that the family is now enjoying from today, right? So there are so many wealthy families today, and if your father, my father, didn't buy land in places that are developed today, then let's buy land in places that will develop in times to come, so that our children and children can be beneficiaries of the decisions that we have made or we are going to be making today. So sometimes the biggest mistake is not the land you bought, right? It is the land you sold too early. So don't sell your land too early. Now, land banking is about vision. Yes, land banking is really about vision. Can you see tomorrow before others see it? Can you identify where development is moving? Can you buy before everybody arrives? So because once everybody arrives, the price will change. So the rich often buy land quietly before the noise begins. This is how we move. Now, see, I have made quiet moves in my life. I can tell you that. And I don't need to explain, I don't need to shout it, I don't need to, make noise about it. You know why? Because wealth is built quietly, especially when it comes to land banking wealth strategy. It is built quietly. It is after we got to the place, we now say, oh, guys, come to this area, come to this place, something massive is coming. So come and buy here. Now, let me give you an example. I bought some land somewhere around Ashikba some years ago. And as at when I was getting to that place, there was no road. I mean, not that there was no road in that real sense. There was road, but the road was not constructed, it was not tarred. But today, last year, there is now a constructed road to the land. So informed decision. When you are informed, when you know where people are going, when you know what is coming to a place, right? You can easily make decision. You can easily make decision to buy land in such place. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you can easily buy land in such place. So land banking is a strategy that you should not ignore. If land banking is a well strategy you want to embrace, please embrace it and be patient enough to get it right. So before you buy land, ask yourself, why am I buying this land? What future developments support this location? Is the documentation secure? These are questions you are asking. You are asking yourself. You are even asking yourself, how long can I hold this investment? Am I investing or just following hype? So these questions can save you millions, just like it has saved me millions. So these questions you should ask yourself, right? Ask yourself, why am I buying this land? What future development supports this location? Is the documentation secure? How long can I hold this investment? And you're also asking, am I investing or just following hypes? Now, the truth is, land banking works, but it works differently from what social media sometimes portrays. So it is not luck, it is not magic, and it is a strategy. Land banking is a strategy. It is patience, it is vision, and it is proper positioning. So if done correctly, empty land can become one of the greatest wealth tools you will ever own. So if this video helped you today, I want you to subscribe to this channel because in this series, I'll be teaching you how to identify profitable locations, how salary earners can start investing, how couples can build wealth through land. I also teach you how Nigerians in diaspora can invest safely and how to avoid costly land mistake. Also, if you are interested in joining our Land Banking Billionaires Network, check the description or send us a message so that we can add you to the group. My name is Olauton Jeremiah, and I will see you in the next video.